Hello, dear students, and welcome back to another session of Communicative English. Today, we are going to discuss on interviews. This is our 19th session. I am Dr. Archana Durgesh from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, BBD University. Interview is another very important exercise, like PI, personal interviews. It is very crucial because you are a brand ambassador and you are yourself a brand in the making. You are supposed to sell yourself, like we did GD, group discuss, in the last set. It was really very important. It is the initial stage. But PI of personal interview is one of the final stages of finalization of employment. It's a crucial thing and you really have to work hard. So kindly pay attention. We will begin with the sharing. And today, after completing public speech and many other things, we will begin with interviews. Before we move ahead on the details of interviews, I would like you all to know what is an interview. The exact meaning of the term interview. The word interview comes from Latin and Middle French words meaning to see between or see each other. Like interview means a private meeting between two people when questions are asked and answered. The person who answers the question of an interview is called the interviewer. The person who asks the question is called the interviewer, and the person who is giving the interview is known as the interviewee. It suggests a meeting between two persons for the purpose of getting a view of each other or knowing each other. Like suppose if you are appearing for an interview, what is the intention of the interviewer? Like, suppose I am interviewing you. So, what is my intention? I want to see through you, see if you are eligible enough, if you are good enough for the post that has been advertised or you have applied for. Interview even means to see each other. You may even have questions. It's not that an interviewee cannot have a question for the interviewer. You have to see each other, to see between whether even you are comfortable with the conditions or not. Like suppose if I offer you a job, say in South, but you are not interested in going to South, and there are other places where I have my outlets, where I have my industrial setup, say in South, in North, in East, in West, even in Central India. I have my establishments even out overseas, and you wish to work in North because you are a North Indian, you can at least go to West or East, but South is a bit far flung. You feel uncomfortable that you won't be able to survive there due to the say the weather or say the, language is a main issue for you because Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu are difficult languages. And this is somewhere you have a question for me. You have an issue with you so that you don't want to continue or you don't want to take up this opportunity. But if I need a person like you, if I need a professional like you, I would come to terms with you. And that is where these things are discussed. When we normally think of an interview, we think a setting in which employer tries to size up an applicant for a job. It's not that. It's a mutual thing. He is not there to insult you, to belittle you, or make you feel that you are not able to answer any question. He is there to know what are your strengths and weaknesses, and he is there to answer all your questions that you have regarding employability, working environment, even appraisals, salary, leave policies, everything you can ask. You have that right. Now, before you move on, you must know what are the various essential steps to preparation and presentation of an interview. An invitation for an interview shows that on paper you are the right person required by the organization for the vacant job. Like suppose if you get a call letter that on such a such date, such a such time, you are supposed to appear for an interview. That means that they initially have thought you are the right person required to fill the position that is vacant in that organization. is estimated that 80% candidates are rejected at the application stage. So if you are really more than three quarters of the way towards getting it, so if you feel that you are not privileged, you are, because 80% have already been rejected. 20%, if that number is too less, will appear for a PI, but if the number is too some, then the people will be put to GD. And then after that, if you're shortlisted, you will go for PI. Larger organizations will have interviews who are often personal professionals or who are trained and experienced interviewers. If you feel that anybody can interview anybody, it's not that. You need to be experienced enough to question the right question, make people comfortable. You have to break the ice. Sometimes the person sitting in front of you is too knowledgeable, too good, but then he or she gets nervous. You have to make that person comfortable so that he can give the right kind of answer to you. Because on a spur of a moment, anybody can get nervous, anybody can lose their nerves. So you have to see to it that interview is somewhere you need to communicate completely. Set poise, take a deep breath, be alert, be receptive. They might even try to irritate you at certain point of time. We will discuss this ahead in detail. But here, please understand that in small firms, you are likely to be interviewed by a partner who may not be trained interviewer. If you are applying in a larger firm, you may be interviewed by HR team, the professional team, who are very good at interviewing, because hiring and firing is a very important thing. But if you go for a smaller organization, you might be interviewed by the partner or by the owner itself, and he might not be a trained or experienced interviewer. If you are confronted by a bad interviewer, you'll have to work hard to use the questions as a means of conveying the point you wish to make. Now, you have to use the question as a conduit. Conduit means a tool that you have to give whatever you want to tell without making them realize that you have not answered their. Like, suppose sometimes you might not be a question on some kind of a skill you have, and you feel that this skill is really very cashable, it's a tangible asset. So what you will do that you will, and somewhat turn and twist the question or the communication in such a way that that side of tangible asset comes to the fore. Now, if it can be a good idea, it can even be a good idea to steer the conversation towards a topic you have particular strengths in, highlighting your good points. Now, there is another way out. What you can best do is that you can maneuver, turn or twist the communication or steer the conversation or towards topics that you really feel comfortable on, or those are actually your strengths, highlighting your good points and hiding if you have some kind of weakness. There are several different types of questions that an interviewer can question, and there are certain techniques with which you can answer these questions. Like they are the straightforward chronological interviews where you are asked around your senior application. Now, my first and foremost suggestion to you is, now the correct pronunciation is not suggestion, it's suggestion. It's not digestion, it's digestion. Okay. So my first and foremost recommendation, or rather advice to you, is that if you're writing your CV, please make sure that each and every point is pertinent and true and is committed to your memory. And if you have filled an application form, please see to it that you have a photocopy of it. Please carry a hard copy. Please do not depend upon screenshots or snaps, because sometimes the memory may get crashed, or the phone might get loose, or you can even run out of battery. So please don't depend entirely on technology. Take a photocopy with you and read it before the interview. So whatever you have filled, you remember, because if it's a chronological interview, maybe you can say sometimes chiseled and experienced people even take this kind of interview, and some generally this is taken by tyros, beginners, or novices. If the person is a novice, then definitely it will be a straightforward chronological interview where you put questions around your CV or application. Criterion reference interviews where you will be asked to give example of how you meet their criteria. Example, teamwork, negotiation, and teamwork, leadership. Now, criterion reference interview is where they will ask you, like, suppose they give you a situation and they ask you, how will you work with your team? How will you emerge as a leader? How will you negotiate in certain positions? So that is, if that is to know whether you meet their criteria or not. Because meeting their criteria is really very important. As I told you, hiring is not everyday job. Because a team has been hired, that doesn't mean that they will interview every day and then fire somebody every day. Okay, so they have to make sure that you meet the criteria. And one thing you must always understand: there are certain things which education cannot give you. There are certain things which experience gives. So they are not expecting you to be a 10 on 10 candidate. What they are looking for is a prospective candidate. Whether this person can be amalgamated in the organization, whether this person will be able to assimilate the working environment, will this person have the a scope enough that he can be taught to behave or function in a certain way as required by the organization. Now, the off wall questions where you might be asked to look into a certain issue and on the basis of that issue tell whether you have on the spot thinking or not. Now, off the wall is when you ask bizarre questions. This is to see if you can think on the spot how creative and logical you are. Like, suppose if I tell you that you are gone for a meeting and you have forgotten your presentation, then how will you run your presentation? How will you tell them that? And you cannot use technology. There is a mobile jammer. You cannot call anybody. You cannot, anyhow ask for the presentation. Your Gmail account has been logged, or you are unable to contact the person who can provide you with a copy of the PPT on WhatsApp or email you. What will you do? Or you have forgotten your laptop and mobile has been submitted at the counter and you have forgotten to bring the pen drive. What will you do? Now, certainly, first and foremost, be ready for such bizarre questions. I am not here to tell you what kind of an answer you should give. But then, for starters, I can tell you this: that if you are asked such a bizarre question, don't leave all hope. Say, sir, I am going for that presentation. I cannot afford to miss my pen drive, my laptop, my mobile. I will make sure that some teammate is with me waiting in the lobby or in the parking lot or in my car with AC running on so that I can call that person as a backup. I will not do such a thing. I will never jeopardize the image of my company. But if, what if, then out of 100, if you say 0.00001% such a situation creates, then I will definitely take up a stand and I will say we will not depend on technology. Today, I am going to give you something which is most trusted in the world, that is word of mouth. If you feel that my word is enough, then I am going to speak my presentation. I'm not going to show you. And if you have any questions, please ask me. This is on the spot. The pressurized interview is where your views will be challenged or even ridiculed. And you might feel that you are being goaded into an argument. If this happens to you, do not lose your cool. It is to test how you react under extreme pressure and see if you can hold your own without starting a fight or being reduced to tears. Now, if you are put into a position where somebody is trying to argue with you hard, so what will you do? You will try and avoid such a situation. Do not lose your cool. Do not argue with them because this is what they want. They want to test the waters of your patience. They want to test how much can you hold in such and such position. They want to know whether in condition of stress will you be able to control your cool or not. So try and understand. It is a situation where you need to control your cool. You have to stay calm. You have to stay put. You cannot lose. You cannot afford to lose your cool. Why? Because employability is an important issue for you. This job is important for you. Try and understand. They are trying to put you in a situation where you will react hardly. It will be a hard reaction. Or you can even be reduced to tears if you are a female. Even males can cry. Don't say that males don't cry. But then, according to a fact, like uh, females get carried away and they cry easily. But then you have to see that it is a situation and you have to face it. You cannot, lose your cool, your calm, your poise. It is something where you are being tested and you cannot afford to lose this. I told you earlier that this is a situation I'm going to, discuss ahead. And this is where I'm going to tell you that don't feel pressurized at all. You are under no pressure. There are so many other opportunities which are open for you because you deserve a good position. So what you can best do is that don't lose hope. Try to be very graceful, be polite, be humble. And number of times I have told you that communication will wins laurels, and communication takes you to your doom. Don't ever forget what I've taught you. बातें ही हाथी पाई है, बातें ही हाथी पाओ. They are just testing you, maybe. So don't feel ridiculed, don't feel insulted. It is part of the job. It is something which is very professional they are doing. So don't get carried. Now, if you are appearing for an interview, then I must even tell you what and how you should prepare. Have a good look at the checklist. Now, prepare a checklist. As I told you, the step one is preparation. The thumb rule is reread your resume. Don't tell me, ma'am, I wrote my CV, I know each and everything about myself. Sometimes you don't remember the kind of adjective you've used for yourself. You don't remember the kinds of strengths you have used for yourself. So reread your resume. Then you might even not remember the high school percentage after 20 years of doing it. Prepare the question to ask and to be asked. What I told you in GD, please apply that knowledge, apply the common sense that I've given to you. You must even prepare what you are supposed to say and what others are going to say. Because in that way, you will be able to answer that very well. Work out clothes to wear. Work on your clothes. Don't just say, okay, I'll wear anything. No, you have to work out on your clothes. What are you going to wear? Because clothes are going to tell a lot about you. People are going to see you before they hear you. Rehearse your interview. Practice is a key factor to any communication. Rehearse well. Ask your friends. You can, if you are about to appear for an interview, you can ask your teachers, even your faculty, even that, sir, I'm going to apply for such and such department, statistical department, or some government university. Can you please interview me? So many teachers have appeared in so many kinds of interviews. They can definitely help you out. Anticipate the obvious questions during the interview. Now, always expect the obvious and the obviously which is not apparent even. Work out strategy for dealing with stress. What if they ask you or put you under some kind of a stress? De-stress yourself. This is not the end of the world. First and foremost, this is not the end of the world. Read the vacancy details and employers literature, what they are and what they want. Sometimes people fill up the vacancies which they are not even fit for. Kindly read the offer document carefully. Even if you fit into the criteria of that post or not, that vacancy is for you or not. What they want and what you want are equally important. Know where the interview will take place. Please don't If you are suppose if you are a Lucknowite and you are supposed to be interviewed in Allahabad, please don't take a early morning bus or train. You may even get stuck somewhere. You know nothing about Allahabad. Do you know what kind of a traffic jam can you end up in? What kind of accident a train can face? You don't know whether you know the place or not. Please make sure that you go one day before the interview, look at the place, check out. For example, there were n number of times when I was a student and grad and post grad, I was supposed to appear for so many bank exams and other things that I tried my hands on just to increase my knowledge and my experience that what kind of a questions are people put up. So what I did was before the exams, the centers were basically in the ambit of 5 kilometers. What I did was that if Sunday is my exam, Friday or Saturday, I will go. I always went there and I checked out what was the location. I checked out where was the college. I went in, where was the place I could park my vehicle in. You know, sometimes it even turned out that you can't park your vehicle because outsiders are not allowed. So where will I park my vehicle? Say 200 meters away, 500 meters away. So I have to park my vehicle in a very safe place so that I don't have to worry about my vehicle during the interview. So please make sure that you take care of such small things. Step 2. First impression counts. Arrive in time. Make a good entrance. Make a very immaculate entrance. Make a very uh, strong impact. Have a very good body language. Shake hand firmly, but not hard, not soft, firm handshake. Posture. It should be straight. You must know your body. You must know how to hold it. Have a good eye contact. Give each and everybody attention. Smile. Now, smile is something which is very dangerous. If you smile at the wrong places, they will feel that you are making a jibe on them, you are laughing at them. And if you will not smile at the right places, they will feel that you don't know how to communicate. Give a tender smile to everybody. Don't just target one person. Target all the 5, 7, 11 people sitting in front. Yes, you may face 11 people in an interview. Like, for example, when we were supposed to interview for our PhD, we were supposed to give a verbal presentation. Verbal presentation, a kind of an interview. So where the whole panel, the whole department sat. 20 people sat around one candidate, and the person had to look into the direction of each person. It was a semicircle, huge semicircle, and the candidate was supposed to answer each and everybody. Sometimes it was conducted in the progress report. The interview was or presentation was conducted in the uh, room of the head. So in that case, all the people were seated on a wall-to-wall sofa, and you had to stand in the middle and face each and everyone. Don't feel as if you are being slaughtered or you are about to face a slaughter. You are given an opportunity, take that opportunity. If you miss the train, then you will never get on to your destination. Stage 3. Be yourself. Don't act somebody else. Don't feel that I saw somebody sitting in the lobby with such and such expression, with such and such body language, and I attended one interview where I saw people answering in such a tone. Please don't. Be yourself. Be your natural self. Don't copy others. Because if you imitate somebody, the person sitting in front of you will come to know. Be honest. Please don't lie. As I told you in the beginning, even if you have written your resume, make sure that each and every line is true. Be prepared to talk, but not too much. Don't be very wordy. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. Suppose if you have not understood the question, what are your priorities? If the interviewer asks you, what are your priorities? So in what sense? Personal, professional. Then the person asks you, no, I'm asking professional or personal. It depends. If my work is suffering, if there is some urgent work which requires my immediate attention, then definitely work is my priority. But if, God forbid, somebody from my family is suffering or has some kind of a issue where my presence is absolutely needed, they cannot work without, I am inevitable, indispensable, then definitely the problem will be my priority, and I will take a leave with prior permission and then leave, and I'll make sure that work doesn't suffer. Don't, you know, go into too much illustrations, but don't leave on the point that it's apparent the person will be able to understand. No, illustrate your answers with examples. If you wish, you can illustrate your answers with an example. You can even share a personal story of success. Like, suppose if you have inculcated a system in the last organization, and that system is really running very successfully, and you have come to know through your resources that this is something which this organization doesn't have. Maneuver the conversation in such a way that it ends up there, and you tell them that you did such a such thing for your last organization, and it can be done here even to improve the working. Be ready to sell yourself. Yes, I told you in the beginning you are a brand and you are your own brand ambassador. Sell yourself at the biggest price with as much facilities as you can. Be interesting. Don't be a bore. Nobody likes a bore. At least I don't like, even when you talk about the class, I don't like boring students sitting, dumb headed, not in a mood to respond, or when they are not receptive. I don't feel that they are being very interactive. The class becomes boring. In the same sense, interview becomes very boring when the interviewer and the interviewer are not very interactive. Stage 4, know when the interview is over. Read employer's body language. Thank him or his her for the time. Learn from the experience. Ask for feedback if necessary. Like, you always come to know whether the interview is over or not. If they say, "Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. It was great. Please don't be very elaborative." But you can always ask, because if suppose you have gone to Allahabad and you are from, say, Lucknow or Kanpur, you can ask, sir, when should I expect the result of this interview? Because I am from Kanpur or Lucknow, and I have come all the way to Allahabad for just for the interview. So if you are going to declare it ASAP, then I can stay back for a day or two. But if it will take time, and how will you tell me? Please give me the feedback. You can always come to know. Please ask. What if you are on your train back, or you are on your Volvo back to Lucknow, and they call you and say, Mr. XYZ, hearty congratulations. Can you join tomorrow morning? Or can you come to sign some document? Then what will you do? Tell them that you are on the Volvo back to Lucknow. Things you must do and remember. Questions you may wish to ask the organization. Major current projects. Like, for example, if they ask you, will you be comfortable working in the East? So you can ask them their current projects. But from where actually are your current projects active? Like, only in East. They can even say that, no, we have a project coming up in North. So you can ask which kind of project, when will it begin? So you can volunteer for that. Future developments. What is the scope for future development? Then work. What will you be doing? For how long? For what are the timings? Typical projects or time scales. That if you are given a typical project, will you be given some time scale? Will you be given certain kinds of exemptions, or some kind of facility? Variety of work. What kind of variety of work is expected from you? Now, you can even ask them that if they will be offering, or is there some kind of possible training that you will get. There are certain organizations like TCS. They don't hire or recruit. They hire you, but they don't recruit you then and there. What they do is that they send you into training for 6 months, sometimes 1 year. And the kind of training that is required, so now they will act accordingly. They'll ask you to appear for that training, and then they'll say that with the help of this professional qualification, you can go ahead with the second stage, or you can join on the third stage, or rather, you don't require any kind of training. If you have already done some kind of some serious summer training or some serious kind of project work, colleague, who would you work with? The marketing team, the sales team, the construction team? What kind of a team will you work with? Location. Where would you be based? Will you be based in north? Will you be given the priority of your hometown? Will you be sent anywhere on the globe? You can always ask these questions. How much travel and mobility is required in this post? Like, for example, teaching is such a job which doesn't require travel and mobility, but there are certain institutions which have other campus all over the nation, even somewhere on the globe. Then what do they do is that they ask. For suppose if someday we ask you to go to our east zone, or someday we ask you to go to Goa zone, or if someday we ask you to go to Bangalore to join the institution there, or if we ask you to go overseas in Dubai or in California or in London, then what will be your take? Will you be able to go there? So you can always, they can ask, and in the same way, in turn, you can even ask, you can even make an inquiry whether how much travel and mobility will be required. Mobility means movement. Travel, will you be able to travel? Are you expected to travel or something? Then prospects, salary, like what are the prospective salary? Salary is a very important question, and you must not leave it to some other time, because they might, in this way, you can even leave some other opportunity that you have in hand. Like, suppose somebody who's giving you a good package in your hometown, but they are giving you a bit better, but in south. But you have to make sure that when you are traveling down south, you will have to make a, if they are not providing accommodation, then you will have to find an accommodation for yourself. Fooding will be a major issue because you are a North Indian. You won't be able to survive with that typical South Indian food. Will you be getting, a kind of mess service? Will it be only South Indian, or will it even incorporate North Indian food? If you are supposed to stay in a PG, or you're supposed to be given some kind of industrial or institutional or organizational um, setup or accommodation, if you have an acquaintance in South or not, please make sure. Because, salary is a major issue. If you are getting 10 lakhs in Lucknow and you are getting 15 lakhs in South, that hardly makes any difference. If you think that 15 lakhs is way ahead of 10 lakhs, try and understand Lucknow is your hometown. You know the city like back of your hand. You have your own house. You don't have to find an accommodation for yourself. Fooding and lodging is not a very big issue for you. What if you go to Bangalore and it turns out that every month you have to give 50,000 as rent and 5,000 as the maintenance of the flat? Then what will be the living standard? And if you have to travel back to your hometown for, say, Diwali, Holi, or some kind of a family function, what will you do? You'll come by road, you'll come by train, you'll definitely take a flight that is even going to cost you. But if suppose you are in Lucknow, you're always handy, you are well in availability, you're just round the corner, you can come back anytime you wish, like you are available for your family, you are available, you don't have to travel much, so there will be least of expenses. So before taking, again, I'll remind you that before taking a desperate plunge, make sure that it is a lifetime kind of a commitment. You are not going there just for a year or 2 or 6 months. You might end up giving all your life to that organization. So make sure that you take the right decision, because you cannot even spoil your CV. Now, CV is a very serious matter. I worked 6 months in certain organization, and then 7 months in a certain organization, then 1 year in some other organization, and 2 years in some organization, and now I'm looking for stability. I have never shown any traces of stability in my CV. People are looking for stable people. If imagine yourself, you are hiring a servant for yourself. Will you be hiring a person who is liable to leave after 3 months, 2 months? Will you hire somebody who says that actually I'm getting married 2 months later, but for 2 months I'll be able to hold your household? I will do all the chores at home. Will you hire such a cook who's getting married after 2 months? She will, most of the time, she'll be only making preparations for her wedding. And after 2 months, again, you'll have to find a servant for yourself. Why not hire somebody who's stable enough? So when with such small and menial tasks you are looking for stability, imagine some organization whose day-to-day business depends upon your working. Won't they be looking for stability? Stability is a very huge factor, and it's not only requirement of the organization, it is the utmost requirement of the employer and employee both. Because if you are there, you even have to show stability in your CV. You cannot hop and jump from one organization to another looking for better opportunities. Now, prospects, what's the likely progression? Now, there is one very serious question which is asked, that where do you see yourself after 5 years? Please, for heaven's sake, don't reply, I see myself as the managing director of this company. I see myself in your position. The person sitting in front of you will perceive you as a threat. Say, better, a better answer is that I see myself working in this organization hard and receiving the right kind of reward for my hard work and fidelity, because everybody is looking for stability and fidelity. Fidelity is where you are true and honest to the organization. It's a matter of gross concern. Where are previous graduates? Like, for example, if somebody else has joined this institution, maybe a super senior has joined this institution, then where are they? Have they got any progress? Have they, achieved some kind of a position or not? Whether they are still in the same position 10 years back as they were hired? Is there any kind of appraisal they have got there in salary, or if there is any kind of promotion that has been given to you? Are they happy? Are they content? You have to look into this factor even. You just don't have to think temporary. You have to think on the permanent ground, the general way of life, the accommodation. Accommodation is a major issue. If you are working, say, overseas, if you are working not in your state, where you don't have any acquaintance, where you do not know anything about the place, you must get an accommodation. You must make sure that the organization provides you with an accommodation. There are even certain organizations which provide accommodations in their campus at a safer distance. They even provide accommodation where they have their own personal residential complex. They can even provide it there. What kind of amenities will you get? Will you be getting any travel amenities? There are certain companies like TCS. They The bus service is there, and it is for everybody. You can use the bus service. Then HCL, they provide a lot of amenities. LNT, to an extent, they even provide the amenity of making the professional study further. They even, if you are a BTech, after working for 1 or 2 years, you can even ask for leave and take up admission in IIM, study MBA or study MTech from IIT. So what you can do is that you can apply for the studies. And these industries can not only promote that people should go for further studies, they even sometimes pay the fees. And as a cherry on the cake, they even provide the salary for those 2 years when you come back. And if you join their institution after doing your MBA from IIM, if you join their organization back, they make sure that they even give you the salary for that time, for those all those 2 years when you were studying. Some part of the salary, or maybe full, I don't know. It depends upon the amenities you negotiate, and the negotiations can only be done once you are in the process of interview. Once the interview is over, once you are out of it, you are not in no position to negotiate. Limits on free time. How much free time will you get? Is it 5 days a week? Is it 6 days a week? What are the timings? 9 to 5, 10 to 6? What are the timings? Like, if timings are flexible, if in certain position, suppose you and your wife are there, and you have a small kid, your wife is working from home, but sometimes once in a week she's supposed to go to her organization to give some kind of project work or presentation. Once in a week she's asked to come for 4 5 hours, and during that time you can you be given this freedom to work from home? Can it be this accommodating? Can it be so flexible that one day in a week you can be allowed to work from home to look after your kid, because you are in no position to hire a babysitter, because you emotionally you don't want to uh, depend on somebody. You don't feel comfortable. You love your child too much. You are insecure about the child. So these are the things that you have to talk during the interview. Interview is a very serious thing. You are about to sell yourself. Sell yourself is not that you are selling yourself, you're selling your services. You are, everybody is looking for stability and fidelity. And even you are looking for stability. You don't want to hop and jump from one organization to another every now and then. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants somewhere, some place so that they can sit and relax, work, make the right kind of future, and be secure. That yes, this is where I belong. This is which is my domain. This is where I live. This is where I have comfort. Everybody needs a house. Everybody wants to make a safe haven for themselves and their family and their loved ones. In the same way, when you come into job, you even want a stable organization where you get the right kind of appreciation and your performance is awarded and rewarded. Okay, be well prepared. Always work on your communication skills, work on your language, work on your diction, work on your personality, because every personality needs development. Okay, I will share an anecdote soon on this, maybe in my next session. Thank you so much. Take care, enjoy, and do study hard and improve your communication skills. Thank you. Bye bye.